Good morning. Welcome to JP's morning brief for May 1st. I did not expect that this morning. Wow. Matter of fact, if you didn't know, I've been up for 2.5 hours and I should have done a voice warm up because that was the first words I spoke all morning long. Okay. But that's out of the way. So here we go. JP's morning brief. Welcome everyone to the show. We made it that Friday, barely. We made it to Friday. Raining outside. So, man, in Texas, it's 50, 56 degrees and raining. We've already got a third of an inch of rain since midnight. All right. So, hey, welcome. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Did you know that Rumble sells T-shirts that say Rumble across it? I'm, I got to clear it with my wife, but I'm going to buy one so I can wear it on the show sometimes. That is, man, um, don't forget to click that follow button if you have not already clicked the follow button to be a follower of the JP8 report slash JP's morning brief. And then click that like button for the day's show, please. And then chat. Okay, I'm going to just clarify one thing. It's the May 1st. The Rumble let me be back into the Rumble Creator Program. And for me to maintain that, I hit every single prerequisite they ever set in front of me to maintain that, except for chats. That's the only thing that I have a problem with. And I need 20 unique chatters every month to be able to stay in there. And I always average about 8 to 10 uniques. That'd be one person per month that they count. So, Covite for life, he got counted for just the day for the whole month. All right. Um, but we need 19 more people, right? They don't include me either, so I don't count. All right. So, welcome to the morning brief. Let's get this started because I got a breakfast to go to this morning. I got to write up another podcast for noon. All right. So, where are we at? America 250. Anti-independence delegates, believe it or not, anti-independence delegates win a special election in Pennsylvania. All right. The birthplace for American democracy, and these people were not wanting to separate from England. And they won a special election today in 1776. And then I got a two-part letter. I broke it down into, and it's not going to be very long. Okay, so just bear with me. This is the letter from William Gordon to John Adams on the 1st of May, 1776. My dear sir. Oh, there's more than that. Okay. My dear sir, it is almost too late to congratulate you upon regaining Boston, but I may give you joy of not having as yet relost it. We ought by this time to have had the harbor. Man, this is hard to read. I'm sorry. We ought by this time to have had the harbor fortified so strongly that a fleet could not have ventured in to have insulted the town without paying dear for it. But there has been very. I am so sorry, guys. This is hard, very hard to read. I should have reviewed this one. Okay, let me start over from it again. It is almost too late to congratulate you upon our regaining Boston, but I may give you joy of our not having yet as yet relost it. Some very bad grammar. We ought by this time to have had the harbor fortified so strongly that a fleet could not have ventured in to have insulated the town, insulted the town without paying dear for it. But there has been a strange not doings. You will ask me, who is to blame? Should I answer without reserve? I would say the assembly is not exerting themselves more vigorously for the defense of the capital. Inter nos, their capitals want to be informed and set right. I would have add a general ward for suffering matters of importance to be so disregarded in sleeping over them. I would further mention the inhabitants in complaining being uneasy and yet not calling a town meeting and agreeing to turn out and work. In truth, we have been for so long time past amazingly disordered. However, as in other cases, every culprit pleads not guilty, and like old Adam shifts the blame from himself to another, we are, however, at last better doing. Uh, was upon Dorchester Hills yesterday and met with two 12-pounders on each, carrying there with the latter end of last week, besides a howitzer on the neck, which had been there for some considerable time. Fort Hill goes for sure and begins to make a respectable figure. Went from the hills of Dorchester Point to the committee have been directing the erection of a fort, was much pleased to it. The work is as neat and good as any of the regulars. Yesterday, they were carting on the timber for the platforms, which will soon be laid. And in a few days, I will apprehend the fort will be so far perfected as to be capable of defending the entrance of the harbor. Shirley's battery is to undergo an immediate repair. I flatter myself that by the latter end of next week, if the enemy do not pop in on us before, we shall be capable of setting them at defiance. Okay, this person was trying to save paper because, and I understand back then not everybody was super well educated and could actually put together a coherent paragraph, but this guy needed help. Okay, and he was writing a letter to the future second president of the United States. Go figure with that one, right? But hopefully it gets better because I'll read the second part this afternoon. All right. So the armament shop, whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop in Copper's Cove is Copper's Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. You need your concealed handgun license? Jason can handle those classes. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Copper's Cove, or call or text 254-560-2023. Or you can reach him at or visit him at www.armamentshop.com. That is www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety, our priority. All right. See, you can tell about the 2 different scopes of writing there, okay? Let's see. So, Iran update. We're still Operation Epic Fury. So if you wonder why I'm always mentioning the name of the operation, because operation names changes inside of a conflict sometimes. It's not like everyone thinks Operation Desert Storm. Well, there was Operation Desert Shield, then there was Operation Desert Storm, then there was the Southwest Asia ceasefire campaign. Those are the 3 aspects of the war in the first Gulf War. And then, like in Iraq, you had Operation Iraqi Freedom, and then Operation New Dawn, and then something else, right? So Yeah, inside of conflicts, there's different operations. We don't even want to look at what happened in World War II because there was dozens of operations. All right. The ceasefire continues. U.S. considers troop reductions in Spain, Germany, and Italy due to their non-cooperation of, of American foreign policy and what was going on in the Strait of Hormuz and inside of Iran. Uh, you got to see how much they actually provide to NATO in itself because they don't. And we give them billions of dollars every year to station our troops in their countries, and we get no return on investment from it. Okay. I was there in the 80s and 90s in Germany, and you can tell the temperature of the people that live there, they don't care. I don't understand it. But if you go one border over to Poland, and you go to Hungary, you go to Slovakia, you go to the former Yugoslavia countries in there, you go to Bulgaria, Romania, all those people, they actually care because their lives were dependent for like 5 decades or 4 decades of communist rule, and they understand the ramifications of not having freedom. All right, because their lives depended on it for so long. I got a comment here. A lot of people who made the trip across the pond had medium education, and that was they were wanting a fresh start. It wasn't always for religious freedom. Richard, you're absolutely correct. You must be educated. Wow. Okay. Cool. I appreciate that. I hope you caught the little pun I put on there. All right. All right. U.S. ships have been rearmed. Man, thank you so much for being there with us, Covite for Life. Uh, you got really good loyalty hanging out with us. Okay. Bahrain warns Iran to stop interfering internally with the affairs of Bahrain itself. Admiral Cooper briefed Trump on options for Iran. The U.S. Embassy calls for direct talks between Israel and Lebanon. Uh, Israeli defense chief says strikes could resume soon against Iran. The United Arab Emirates travel ban to Iran, Lebanon, and Iraq, and tells its citizens to return home. A Palestinian foreign advisor refused to shake hands with the Israeli uh, vice president at the FIFA World Congress, getting ready to kick off the World Cup, right? Yeah. Let's be friends, shake hands, take out your frustrations on the, what do you call it in soccer? It's called the, not the field, the pitch, okay? Take it out on the pitch. Uh, the Iranian president, quote, continuation of this offensive approach is intolerable, unquote. And then Russia got caught in the candy jar. They have been identified as they have been helping Iran, and it was proven that they're helping Iran. Uh, just a little while ago, Brent crude oil was trading at $113.94 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate was at $105.35 a barrel. And the Dow Jones yesterday closed at 49,692.14. That is an increase of 790.33. Wow. That's huge. Some people made money yesterday. All right. So, what are we looking at? It's already 6:45. We're doing good here. Let me get that set. All right. So, this is going to be quick and not painful, but this is going to be quick this morning. I'm going to raid to, to events at 7 o'clock. Just want to give forewarning. but I'm not going to go through all this. I always put too much on my outline, but we're going to continue on this. Let's see. So yesterday, excuse me. So yesterday, I was telling you about in Maine, Governor Janet Mills dropped out of the U.S. Senate race against Susan Collins, right? In favor of allowing Graham Plattner to secure the Democrat nomination to run against Susan Collins. Now, even though Susan Collins is a very moderate, in lack of terms, a Republican, she needs to be reelected because this Graham Plattner guy, he says he's just an ordinary oyster fisherman, but he's just not that. In October, he declared himself as a Democrat, not as a Democrat, as a communist. Them two run side by side a little bit. But yeah, I believe October 15th, he was quoted as calling himself a devout communist. He wanted to get elected, go to Washington, and tear the entire system down. All right? I'm going to get more on him, and I'm going to bring it back to y'all because that is something we do not need to happen in our country at all. We are not a communist. We're not even a socialist country. We got to purge ourselves of those people in our government by unelecting them and getting competent Republicans in office to save our country. Okay, we'll go from there. So yesterday, the House passed the how many pages? Oh, no wonder. Okay, there we go. The House passed the DHS funding bill, ending a 75-day shutdown. It took them long enough. The Democrats didn't get a single thing out of this shutdown at all. Congress took a major step toward ending a record-breaking DHS shutdown on Thursday as the White House warned hundreds of thousands of federal employees were on the verge of missing paychecks amid a 75-day funding lapse. The House of Representatives unanimously approved the Senate-passed spending measure covering most of the department's appropriations through September. The vote came after the DHS funding measure had stalled in the lower chamber, that would be the House of Representatives, for more than a month as House Speaker Mike Johnson declined to put the bill on the floor over objections to language he said defunded law enforcement. The Speaker's opposition reflected the views of many in his conference who viewed the bill as a dead letter, and when the Senate passed it unanimously in March. Johnson changed course this week after the White House appeared to side with the Senate and urged swift passage to the upper chamber's bill. Okay, so everything is completely funded with this bill. Coast Guard, FEMA, TSA, everything inside DHS, Secret Service is another one. Fully funded now, right? Because the president signed it yesterday. Except for some staffers in CBP and ICE, in which the president told them by June 1st, he wants a bill on his desk to fully fund through the rest of his presidency the operations for ICE and CBP. So there's no other question for the next 2.5 years, ICE is going to have their money and Customs and Border Police will have their money to make sure our country is safe. All right? So next, this one hits closer to me. All right? Congress punted a long-term, okay, let me read it right. Congress punted a long-term fix because they were trying to do a 3-year extension. Congress punted a long-term fix for a controversial spy law for the second time in a month as lawmakers raced to avoid a lapse in the government's warrantless surveillance power set to expire Friday at midnight. Both chambers approved a 45-day extension of Section 702 of the FISA Act. That's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, before leaving Washington on Thursday. So they're not even at work and they get paid. Allowing lawmakers more time to negotiate reforms in a hotly contested program. President Trump, who wants a clean extension to the surveillance program, is expected to sign the measure into law. The Senate first agreed to extend the law by mid-June by voice vote, which was quickly followed by the House of Representatives clearing the extension for a bipartisan measure, so 45 days. House Speaker Mike Johnson and his leadership team had argued the spy authority was too critical to lapse. We can't have FISA go dark, Steve Scalise told reporters on Thursday. The bicameral agreement for a short-term fix after a Senate swiftly rejected a House bill extending Section 702 program for 3 years. The lower chamber's measure included modest reforms to the program and a permanent ban on central bank digital currencies, a priority of conservatives associated with the House Freedom Caucus. I fully agree with that. But the inclusion of that provision was a non-starter in the Senate, given that it was unrelated to the underlying bill and was already baked into a housing affordability passage passed by the Senate in March, and that the House has yet to move on it. So what they were trying to do is try to put a poison pill in there, try to get people to vote against it. That's what was going on. So FISA is foreign surveillance, right? But it has a problem, a niche in it with it's warrantless. It's against our Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. Well, part of this is if there's a FISA warrant and they're scooping up information on a foreign adversary, if they are communicating with an American, their stuff is included, and then we don't have to have a warrant for that. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. No matter what happens, this stems from the Patriot Act from back in 2003, right? No matter what, we have a Bill of Rights. We are protected from our government. There are a specific set of rules in place for us to be protected from our government. Not to protect the government from us, but protect us from the government. No matter what. We have 27 constitutional amendments to add to our Constitution, and everything grants our rights and freedoms and how the government is supposed to operate to protect us, Americans, from the government. Because I don't trust the government. You shouldn't trust the government. That is why we have that document that's over 200 years old. It's 240 years old come September. All right, I think that's it. I could be wrong. Don't hold that against me. All right, so it's 6:54. I'm going to read more about this afternoon, but they need to seriously consider just doing away with Section 702 or make massive reforms into the thing. All right. Dr. Nicole Saphier, she's a standard on Fox News all the time. She even guest hosts on it sometimes. Well, we won't be seeing her for at least 2 years because the president nominated her to be the next U.S. Surgeon General. And so the person she is going to replace is So for months, Senator Bill Cassidy, a very disloyal. Okay, this is from Trump. Casey Means was on her way to being Surgeon General. Something happened, and had to drop her name out of consideration to be Surgeon General. And then and she was come at the personal request of RFK Jr., but it didn't go through. So the president nominated Nicole Sapphire, which is a really good, uh, a good oncoming asset to the federal government for a couple more years. All right, I stalled there. I'm sorry about that. I'm just keeping track of time. Hold on here. As I'm doing this, don't forget to click that like button, and please click the follow button and give us a couple of chats inside the chat room, right? If you're proud, if you're happy that Nicole Sapphire, if you know about her, put a flag in the put American flag in the chat, okay? As I'm getting ready to do the raid in just a couple minutes here. There we go. All right. So next, GOP lawmakers push for filibuster reform and reconciliation to ram bills through the Senate. All right, because we've been having a problem with that, correct? And as the Senate Majority Leader John Thune resists pressure to reform the chamber rules to pass legislation without Democrat support, some fellow Republicans in the House are ramping up efforts to make the upper chamber advance the Trump agenda. At present, the Senate filibuster respectively requires 60 votes in the legislation to advance, which is called cloture, right? Making the passage marquee legislation more. Whoa, I lost my screen. Okay. I hope Democrats and Republicans alike for years have bemoaned the inability to advance key priorities under the current system. Now, with midterms fast approaching and with Republicans having little to show for their time in the majority, some lawmakers want to go on offense, particularly to pass the Save America Act, a voter ID bill that has strong support among the Republican base. I'll put it like this: if we're able to hold the Senate and the House, the first on the rules packet that comes before the Senate, they need to do away with the cloture requirement. And then, let's put it like this: keep the cloture requirement, reduce it down to 51, so you actually have a majority to be able to further legislation along, right? Yeah, don't destroy it. Just put it back at 51. Just put it at 51 to make sure you have overmajority support for legislation and call it a day. That's all you have to do, right? But uh, we can't hamstring both parties in getting any legislation passed in the Congress because you have a select group of people that will not let that if you have a Republican president and you have a Democrat Senate or the Democrats in the minority that have more than 40 votes, that we're not going to allow this to proceed. We are not going to vote for cloture, and the legislation is dead in the water. And that's what we need to prevent from happening, right? So they need a reformer, yes. Um, and then right before I do the raid, the Justice Department under Harmon Dillon said that she will be enforcing the SCOTUS ruling in every state that has racially gerrymandered districts, right? So that's going to be happening. So I'm going to cover that more this afternoon also. All right. So I'm going to do. I'm not even going to get to do my out brief. Well, let me do it real quick, okay? And then we'll raid over. All right, so tomorrow this is happening in Coppers Cove. All right. No, not in Coppers, in Gatesville at 11 a.m. in Gatesville at the feed mill. It's a meet and greet for runoff candidates for County Commissioner 2, County Commissioner 4, and our county judges. Hopefully all of them will be there. It's a drop-in meet and greet from 11 to 1, followed by a Republican Party meeting at 1. All right, so be there or be square. All right, I'm going to leave this on here, and I'm going to do the raid. I will see everybody at noon Central with the JP8 report. So doing the raid, click and confirm. I will see you all at 12. This is James Pierce. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out after 6 more seconds.